WMB Sports Radio.
Thinking forward.
Now, somebody out there was screaming at their radio, Justin Haley, he's the 20-year-old making the debut tomorrow, Xfinity Series, first Xfinity Series race. That is Justin Haley. So, what can you say? We're going to drive the number 77 Chevy, and it is going to be in the paint scheme, let's see here, Spire Motorsports. And a sponsorship, now this is new, the Fraternal Order of Eagles. What do you think about that? Fraternal Order of Eagles, I gotta be, I'm not a member of a lodge club or, fraternal organization like that, but I mean, I have heard of things where, like, they'll be out there and they'll be at the bar or something, and then it comes down to midnight, and as tradition, this is actually a reason, I think, to join a fraternal order and all this. And you would have, it would be midnight, and then they turn off all the lights at a bar. I've heard about this, and let's say, I don't know, the Owls or something. And all of a sudden, everybody in there starts hooting. See, now, I think that would be an enjoyable Friday night. Anyway. I don't know, Do the Fraternal Order of Owls actually meet? Maybe I could get into a partnership with Hooters. That would actually do some things with them, wouldn't it? Let's see. But Justin Haley, Fraternal Order of Eagles. They at midnight, I don't know, they go, caw, 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 sing patriotic songs or something. I don't know. There you are, sing Fly, Eagles, Fly. Here we are, but okay, so we're going to, by the way, bottom of the hour, Josh Brown, Knock Home Nation comes on. We talk about the Braves losing 2 of 3, Chris Welsh, all that good stuff. I do want to, at 1:45, talk a little bit about ETSU and their transfers and such. I'm going to get to that at that time. It wasn't a very fun series, and you heard Matt Pauley tell you about it up in Cincinnati. For the Braves, losing 2 out of 3 to the second worst team in terms of win-loss record in the second worst team in the National League. And the Braves, however, if they had won that game, they would be in first place right now. Instead, they're in third, 500 at 12-12, a game behind the Mets, who are 13 and 11. And it was actually a real big day for Eugenio Suarez in the Reds' 4-2 victory against the Braves. He was able to light up Julio Teheran a couple of times. First here to get the Reds the first run of the game and an eventual 4-2 victory. How can you hit a ball off the wall and it get thrown out trying to extend it to a double? Hey, look at that one right there. That's not the best call I've ever heard. Suarez did get a double later on.
Oh.
All those hits off of Julio Teheran, whose ERA is now above 5, despite the fact he was the opening day starter for the Braves. I know that that's not his. I know that's not Josh Brown's favorite pitcher. Anyway, but regardless, Bruins played the Columbus Blue Jackets opening round of the second round of the NHL playoffs yet last night, and the player to talk about, Charlie Coyle of Boston.
Cruz settles the puck.
Ducks the head, fires it on right wing. Johansson to the right circle. Johansson, backhand toward the slot off the post. They score! That was a rocket in and out of it. That's so fast. Charlie Coyle released it, and we're tied at 2.
Well, the Bruins, they're the last sort of team that'll slug their way to victory in these NHL playoffs. I mean, you could argue the Hurricanes after taking TJ Oshie out, but I did my commentary yesterday about the good guys won, and I said, basically when I talked about it with Alex Doherty of A to Z Sports Nashville yesterday, that injury came in the course of play. It's a little bit different than you get into a traditional drop the gloves and knock them down and all this sort of stuff, the turning hockey into a Don Cherry wet dream or something. You know what I like to see when I watch a hockey game are things like this. You heard Coyle score the game-tying goal. Now look what he does in OT.
Here's Johansson. He'll flip it out to center right, glove by Hyman. 1-on-2. Carries it over the line. Here's circle Johansson, fires the flick, and they score! Out of the pair from Charlie Coyle, the kid from Wayman, and it's into overtime. The Montenegro is victorious, 3-2 over the Blue Jackets. They've won each of their last 3. They take the upper hand of the series, and the Jackets looking at a deficit for the first time.
So there you what do you think of that? I mean, the Jackets looking at the deficit the first time and all that. Now, there's a call, don't you think? Yeah. All right. Now, wasn't the only OT winner, though, in the NHL last night. Not by a long shot. I mentioned that. I say that, excuse me. I've got a day old. I'm sorry. I've got a day old sports highlight here. But that's how the Bruins took a 1-0 lead on the Blue Jackets heading forward. Of course, the NHL playoffs are going to continue. The St. Louis Blues also, they were taking on the Stars, and this may actually be a tough pill to swallow for some Predators fans, as the Blues have been, really they were the hottest team, I think, maybe not at the very end in the division. Because after all, the Preds came on late to win it. But in the second half of the year, they were the hot team in the division.
Goes down as he goes to play the puck. His 74th career playoff game. He gets it out of the zone, and it's Tarasenko picking it at center. Comes wide on Heiskanen. Drives the goal. He scores! What a goal! What a beauty of a goal by Tarasenko. Top shelf underneath the crossbar. He roofed it in a hurry, and the Blues go on top 3-1 as Tarasenko drove Heiskanen wide. 16:09 to play, third period. Tarasenko has 2.
That's quite a call, isn't it? I mean, how many playoff games the guy has scored, all that. I mean, that's quite a call right there. But yes, the St. Louis Blues, who I don't believe have been to the Stanley Cup Final. Double check this, but I don't believe the Blues have been to the Stanley Cup Final since maybe 50 years. Somewhere around there. Since Scotty Bowman was taking the Blues, and they're an expansion team, to the Stanley Cup Finals, and when they expanded, they put all the expansion teams in one division, so they couldn't help but play in a Stanley Cup Finals. Well, they got swept, all that, so that wasn't that satisfying and all that. But the Blues beating Dallas year to go 3-1. Dallas added a goal late, but it was 3-2. So the Blues now have a 1-0 series lead there as they prepare to play the winner of the Lanch and the Lanch and the Sharks, or Western Conference Finals. That's who the winners would be. So anyway, a couple of exciting hockey games there that I want to tell you about because, they did not necessarily make the cut before. Reminder, I'm going to talk to Josh Brown of Knock Home Nation about baseball here shortly, and we'll talk about the Braves. Disappointing that they would lose 2 out of 3 in all this. By the way, there's been a lot talked about. You remember Vladimir Guerrero? His son is going to be making his debut for the Toronto Blue Jays today.
That can play. Just like at the women's spring training. You know? He did that. And he will. He's an easy kid to talk to. I don't think he has enough to do great talk to him. That's it. He's an easy-going kid.
That's kind of boring, isn't it? That was Charlie Montoya, who's the manager of Toronto, and he was talking about Vlad Guerrero making his debut for the Blue Jays today. By the way, a bit of sad news. John Havlicek, the legendary Boston Celtics star, passed away at the age of 79. Everyone remembers Havlicek stole the ball.
When John Havlicek stole the inbound pass in the 1965 Eastern Conference Final, he became a legend in Boston and a superstar in the NBA. Nicknamed Hondo, the Ohio native went on to play 16 years in Boston, piling up gaudy numbers. Over 26,000 points, 8 NBA championships. He's the Celtics' all-time leader in points and games played, and his number 17 hangs in the Garden rafters. Havlicek addressing the crowd at his retirement ceremony in 1978. Thank you, Boston. I love you. Hall of Fame coach Red Auerbach said no one personified the Celtic way more than John Havlicek. Todd at ABC News.
Say this about Havlicek. You think about great plays, and I'm going to keep it to pro, not college basketball. I think the greatest play might be Lorenzo Charles' dunk. That's debatable and all that, but to give NC State the national championship in '83 off the prayer from Derek Whittenburg. Havlicek stole the ball, though, in NBA lore. That's got to be right up there with, say, Immaculate Reception for NFL lore, Bill Mazeroski's home run for baseball lore, or the shot heard around the world by Bobby Thompson, something like that. You want to talk about the greatest singular play in NBA history, I would vote for Havlicek's steal. Havlicek passed away yesterday at the age of 79.